flip side, people are going to try and figure out ways to continue to avoid that. Right? And that tension is going to always exist.
Mr. Shah reports his Bitcoin revenue in the same way he reports all his other transactions. Whether other Bitcoin users do the same is impossible to say. So, at this point, no one is quite sure how this combination of futuristic technology and old-fashioned money is going to play out as we approach 2050.
I think about the future of money a lot. It's a great question. I wish I knew the answer, and if I did, I'd have all the money in the world.
One of the world's most famous Canadians is Chris Hadfield, a commander of the International Space Station.
People love Chris Hadfield. He's like a rock star here, and he was great. He was always on Twitter when he was up at the International Space Station.
So when the Canadian government wanted to unveil their remote future, who better to turn to than Commander Hadfield, who happened to be orbiting the Earth.
Mr. Flaherty, I read you loud and clear. Welcome aboard.
This marked the first time in history that currency was unveiled from outer space.
I just want to tell you how proud I am to be able to see Canada's achievements in space highlighted on our money.
Canada's new money is made of polymer. It has come to be known as plastic.
It is polypropylene. It is a form of plastic, if you want to call it that, but it is still very flexible, very smooth.
Why turn away from traditional bills, which are made of cotton fiber paper, and go with plastic? One reason is that plastic is more durable.
This stuff is virtually indestructible. You can try to cut it, crumble it, tear it, comes right back, it's waterproof, and yet it feels remarkably like a traditional bill.
It always feels fresh, and it feels very smooth, I think, compared to old money.
Nearly three-quarters of Canada's bills, more than $1 billion worth, are now plastic. The main reason they were created was to foil counterfeiters, who themselves were using the latest tech to print fake bills.
In the mid-2000s, counterfeiting rates were going up significantly, and because technology was getting better, printers can do now things that they couldn't do 20 years ago. Counterfeiters were finding it easy to make fake dollars. I remember a few years ago, there were stores, if you wanted to use a $50 bill, no one would take it. Today's children are tomorrow's global citizens. Nature, next generation theater. Hologram has two, actually. If you
They're tech of their own.
Catch the Oscars live Monday the 27th, right here on Pearl.
So the Canadian government decided to fight counterfeiting tech with better tech of their own. All of the new bills have a see-through section called the window.
and it has this hologram. It has two, actually. If you tilt it, you can see that it changes color, and it's really integrated in the polymer.
These holograms are easy to see, so a business owner or a consumer only has to hold the bill up to the light to confirm it's the real thing. And they're virtually impossible to counterfeit.
There are many, many ways to protect the money, so I think they've made it difficult for counterfeiters, or made it too much work to bother.
And the new bills have a couple more advantages. Since they're plastic and not paper, they're cleaner. And this money is also good for the environment.
At the end of their lifespan, when they're worn out and taken out of circulation, they are recycled. Plain and simple.
Other countries, from England to India, are starting to develop their own plastic money. And there are moves to make a lot of government documents, like birth certificates, out of plastic.
It's becoming part of our society. It's going to become ingrained in everyday life, in the things we do, in the money we have, in our secure government documents.
A decade ago, the idea of plastic money might have seemed too far out to be possible. Now, the only thing far out about it is that it was introduced from outer space.
is really heartwarming to me because I'm so much in the thick of it. These banknotes will remind Canadians every time they buy a sandwich and a coffee and a donut what we are capable of achieving.
At last count, there were nearly 200 official currencies on Earth. A little known fact is that worldwide there are more than 2,500 unofficial currencies. They're known as local or community currencies. Nearly 30 countries have this new kind of money. So what is local currency, and why is it becoming so popular?
Money is a human-created tool. So that means that we can create the tool however we want it to be, right? We can say, well, our tool needs to accomplish this and this and this.
The key word with local currencies is local. They only work within a confined and usually small geographical area, say a town or a county.
This is a parallel economy. In fact, it's becoming a major economy as more and more people participate.
In the United States, one of the most successful local currencies is used in the Berkshire Mountains of Massachusetts. These bills are called Berkshires.
If you spend $1 with a locally owned business, something like 60% stays here in your local community, and if you spend your money with a chain store, it's like 18%. So all the rest of it goes somewhere else.
Berkshires look just like many national currencies, most of which feature national heroes, or monuments, or landmarks.
Money is a powerful cultural artifact that carries the images, quite often, of those people or buildings which are most highly respected, which are a point of reference in society.
We have local heroes on the front and local artwork on the back. And on the front you can see the Berkshire Hills. So this is a representation of where we live and what the landscape is like.
Berkshires contain images like this. Herman Melville, a local man who also happens to be the world-famous author of Moby Dick. Thousands of these bills are in circulation.
For me, Berkshires are cool. They have the cool factor. It's a curiosity. You want people to ask, hey, what's that? So that's really fun. Also, when you're using local currency, it takes your relationship a step further with the vendor, the merchant that you're purchasing from, because they know that you're supporting local.
Transactions using Berkshires, like other local currencies, are taxed by the government. But if you try to spend it outside the region, no one will take it. Inside the region, it works for a very simple reason. The community wants it to work.
It has value. People agree that it has value. And the more people that agree that it has value, the more value it has.
So it's a network trust. And for those new types of currencies to get any traction, they really have to build trust.
Local businesses, both big and small, advertise that they use Berkshires. Most agree it's good for business.
The Berkshire works as federal money, just the same way. Within this area, there is, I believe, close to 350 businesses and services that take it.
It's a positive thing. You go in and ask to exchange your dollars, and they're excited because they're part of this. They're helping to recirculate. So I've had only a positive experience with it.
Even bigger businesses, like the Magic Flute, which makes musical instruments for customers all over the world, uses the local currency whenever possible.
We're all about local. In other words, it's that made in the USA, but then it comes down to community. It's supporting our community by hiring locally, using local vendors.
Even local banks participate. They treat Berkshires the same way they treat regular currency, with a slight difference. There's an incentive for people to use the local currency.
If you bring $95, you'll get 100 Berkshires. You can spend the 100 Berkshires just like they were $100.
They'll give me 100 Berkshires, so I'm actually gaining 5%. Then I want to bring those dollars to one of 400 vendors, restaurants, local businesses where they'll accept them. And actually, the perfect part of this cycle is for those merchants to take that money and then cycle it, re-spend it, push it out back to the community, don't bring it back to the bank.
Local currencies will never rely on federal money, and they aren't supposed to. But they're spreading up in communities across the country and the world. It's possible, and maybe even likely, that your town could have its own money well before year 2050.
Technology has made it easier for all of us to create our own currencies. I think that a large number of communities are going to start local currencies because they're going to be easier to start thanks to technology.
As we've seen, money stayed the same as the millennium, but it's changing now. Those changes are even more profound as we approach 2050.
I think people are excited about the idea of Bitcoin or really owning digital currency because they see it as the next step in an evolution of money. It's not actually physical dollars anymore. So the jump from what we say is dollars to Bitcoin is just almost more a language choice.
It just depends on a community saying this is something that's worth something, and we understand that it's a means of exchange, it's a store of value.
There will be many types of money, and the state won't control all of them. The question is, will we have the wisdom to catch the inevitable scams? Whenever a new species develops, new ways of doing things, a new ecological niche, the predators and parasites aren't far behind.
So what will money look like in 2050? Will it be an image on your smartphone? What's certain is that this tech, which has been around since the dawn of civilization, will change like every other technology we use every day. That's it for this week's edition of Earth 2050. I'm Chuck Pell. See you next time.